Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and these are Charter Moms Chats. And this summer, we're presenting at-home learning activities that families can do to help their kids catch up. If maybe this past year of distance learning was more difficult than you expected, ways to keep kids in the habit of learning over the summer. And we have a hub where we've been collecting these things. It's called Charter of Voyage of Learning. If you visit our site, sachartermoms.com, you'll see a big graphic on the page. It'll lead you to the Charter of Voyage of Learning. Today we're featuring a new activity, and our guest is Anindita Gupta. Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So she's a kindergarten teacher at the School of Science and Technology Northwest. So go Narwhal Nation, right?
Yes. Narwhal Nation. Yes.
And she's also a mom. She has a preschooler and a kindergartner. Preschooler and second grader, right?
Second grader, right.
Yeah. So, and Ms. Gupta wrote a blog post for us last summer as well about at-home learning activities. So I encourage everybody to go to the description of the video and click on the link, and that will take you to Ms. Gupta's guest post, which has learning activities that families can do at home. And it also links back to her earlier post from last summer, which is still relevant, great for young learners. And the reason she's our guest on Charter Moms Chats today is to kind of walk us through her observations as a teacher and give advice about how to use these activities, and then kind of introduce how families can use them at home. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. I mean, I'm very glad to join you, Inga. Yes, this school year has been very different from a regular year. So I do like to share how I felt.
Yeah. So one thing we talked about this last year as well. You were experiencing distance learning as a teacher working from home, but also as a mom with children at home participating in distance learning. So, and you talked about things like scheduling and just ways to keep everyone engaged, keep everyone on track. What are some things that you learned from this past year? What were some of the experiences you had?
So this school year was very different. We started on-site online learning, and then in September we went to on-site learning. So I took my kids with me because I was teaching, so they would go to school. That was normal for us. But I saw that it was difficult for a lot of families to, have that transition from online to on-site, and a lot of families chose to be online for the whole time, and we tried to provide as much support as we could as a school. So I saw that there were a lot of things that those transitions were going through every month. We were having new kids, so that we can provide better support to our families, and our campus has been helpful, so we went through this. We did well.
Yeah. That must have been a challenge, though. Every time would pass, and then some more students would come back on campus, and you'd have to kind of find a new rhythm. And
Right. Yes. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So we had to make those rules, and we had posted them. And every month we would go through this as if that's the first day of school, because it is the first day for someone, and they need to know what is the rule. But children have been very helpful, because I see that those who were with me since the beginning of school year, they have been more helpful. They try to show the other child who's coming. So it's been a great journey.
yeah, that's beautiful. Students helping other students,
Yes.
that's part of that community building benefit of
Mhm.
having kids on campus. So, okay, well, I'm going to bring the slides on screen, because you made these
Okay.
beautiful slides to go with
Oh,
the presentation. And so these are available in the blog post as well. But you called it's summertime when learning is fun.
yes.
Yeah, I
I
love that.
like
Okay,
teaching
so
during summer because I'm the teacher of my kids at that time.
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. Um, One of the things that we talked about when we were planning this is that sort of what were some of the challenges between the difference between kids learning at home and kids being back on campus. And so how do we support the kids who, maybe they've been at distance learning for a while, or they didn't get that on campus experience? And I think one of the things you talked about was that they, um, like if a child was doing distance learning at home and they had like a parent or another adult alongside them,
Mhm.
they got used to kind of getting a response very quickly or having somebody right there to show them where to
Yes.
click. And that's it's different on campus and it's different out in the world, like what we're preparing
Right.
students for.
Yes, so that was the first one for being a confident learner. That is something I felt towards the middle of the school year when the kids were coming and they got that help from their families. It can be a grandma or mom. And I understand that when you have a little kindergartner at home, you would tend to help them. But when they are back to campus, my goal was to teach them that we have a little bit of time that we might need to wait for our teacher to come to our desk, and that was something. And with that, I think that children, they tend to do their work by themselves if they know how to do it. So I always tried to make them independent. For example, I can tell you that in my classroom and at our home, we have those word charts and the sight word charts, which the kids will refer to if they're working. And in this, the process is two-step. First, you have to keep your activities available. You have to keep your resources available so that the child knows what he or she is expected to do. And then once you have it, you can tell your child that if you need help, this is the chart that I'm looking at today. If I'm working on my word family, then I'm going to look at my word family chart, which is right here. And that way the child will have that patience that, okay, I do have my resource, now I will go and use it. And initial stage will be a little tough. They might ask for more help, but with time they will learn how to do their work on their own. And the second step is that schedule and routine in everything that we do with the kids. It is very important to do that every day. Once you do it every day, after a few weeks you can see that there is a progress in your child's behavior or being independent. They are being independent. So that's something I saw in class as well. So that is why I made that activity to help the parents, those who might need that for next school year.
Right, right. Oh, so tell me, if I should I go to the next slide? Let's see. I guess.
Yes, you can go to the next
Oh
slide.
yeah.
That way, or I think the next one will be helpful to see
There we
what.
go. Okay.
Yes, yes, I wrote about how you can prepare your sight word charts and your word family chart, and whatever is required depending on your child's age group and the grade level. Because with my little kindergartners, we have those two charts, and now those who are in higher grades, they might need different kind of charts depending on what they're doing on that day. If you want to have your math charts available, I'm making some tables charts for my daughter because she's going to work on tables this summer. So depending on the activity, I will say what you're going to make. Your materials preparation will be depending on that.
Hmm.
And
See,
once
okay, I
you are
think
ready
my
with your materials, then take baby steps to start so that you are not frustrated, your child is not frustrated, and you can develop the habit.
yeah. My sorry, my mouse and my computer is acting up a little bit, so I might have to. I'm going to keep trying to do the slides. If I mess up, we'll just go back to our faces on the screen. So I
All right,
apologize for the
sounds
technical difficulties. But
good.
the important thing is the great content you prepared, because these things are they're very common sense and they're very step by step. And you've made these beautiful slides, and so these
Thank
are
you.
incorporated in the blog post. So if anyone's like squinting trying to read it on screen and I can't blow it up big enough, don't worry, because if you click through in the blog post, you'll find all this text and you'll find these graphics, and everything will be there, easy to use. So um, okay, let's see. Let me go to the next. Oh, good. I can still advance slides. Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah, I try to make it very visible so that parents, those who are reading this, they do not have to read way too much. They can see what they need to look for, the information, and how they can go to the activity. That link has been posted over there, and that link will take you to the activity that I have shared. But my goal was to show an example for the parents so that they can modify depending on their child's age group and what their child is going to learn. Like I said,
Yeah.
my older one, she's in second grade, and she's learning tables because that is going to be important for her in third grade. So we are working on the chart or tables. But for my younger one, she's going to be in kindergarten. So we made a word chart that has those easy CVC words. So, depending on the age group, we will modify all the work. Oh, yes, yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
So
that's for my
I'm
younger
right now.
child.
I'm not tech savvy enough to switch between slide decks during one presentation, but I have my printouts, and yeah, so I'll
Yay.
just and then these are in the blog post, and yeah, this one's really cute because it's like it looks like a little house, and it's all these like 3-letter words with rhymes. So that's a great one for the little kids, and then like there's more elaborate charts for um, yeah, and that's one of the
Oh,
great things
very
about
cool.
when you design these activities, like it works for a range of ages. So like kids from like preschool age, up through elementary, they can all, be building their language skills, but then, and also like while they're learning that content, if parents set it up for them and then give them space, then it helps build those independent skills.
Yes, that is the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
And
you said, there's links you can click on. Yeah.
right, yeah, right. There is the link. That's what I was saying. That there is a link. And one quick tip: if you want, you can ask your child's help to make those charts. Because if you have an older child who can write, then you both can work together to make that chart. And I think if the child make their material, I mean, you can have two children together to make the material as well. That is more helpful, because then they take that pride that, oh, I made it and I'm using it. So that's something
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
figured at my home. Those things work better.
That's right. They have pride in it, and they feel like they accomplished something, and they know what it's for, what the purpose is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's are there any let's see, anything else you want to add on about these like projects to learn independence, or should I click over to the one about
The
the
one
more
quick tip
like social
regarding
emotional?
this, I'm sorry, the one quick tip
Oh
regarding
yeah.
this is we have to be very patient, because if your child is in lower elementary, especially, they might need more time. So we will practice every day. We will follow that schedule, try to stick to the time, and start with short activities that is not going to require too much of time. So, you can have like that routine is very important. Once that routine is all set and you practice every day, I think the goal will be easy to reach.
Yeah. That is such an important message that learning doesn't happen in a day. It happens a little bit over time. Like that's how, real understanding and real change happens. And when you make a habit of it, then it's not a struggle to get started. It's like, oh, yes, this is what we do. This is our so it might be hard
Right.
at first. And that's why you're recommending kind of like keep it simple and start slow.
Mhm.
But have that consistency so it's an expectation, and then it's not a
Yeah.
struggle each time that you try to get started.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, well, I'm gonna tab over to um this goes back to there's different topics, like you mentioned about learning independence is really important,
Yes.
but then also facilitating social emotional development. So that's what this activity is about, right?
Yes, ma'am. This activity is about how to express yourself, because due to this tough situation, children went through a lot. They had to go through online learning, on site learning. And not only that, I understand the parents have been busy, they were working from home. So I feel that it is very important for the children to understand how they feel, and to express that feeling. That is another important thing, because once you're at school, there are different situations, and they will have peers. So they need to know how they can express their feeling instead of holding it back.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
If
see.
you go to the
So
next slide here. I was thinking that if possible, parents can have one of those, how do I feel or emotion charts at home. And I mean, I'm telling you from my personal experience that there are times when children can show you better instead of talking. So depending on your child, what works the best, you have to choose that. So if it is easy for your child to show the picture, then you can ask, show me the picture, how you feel now. If your child is more vocal, then you can tell your child that please tell me how you feel. Sometimes they do not even want to talk, so you can tell them, okay, write it down for me, I will read it how you feel. So that's what I tried to say, that it's kind of, it's not an activity, I would say. It is for our day to day life.
Yeah. So we have a set of little plushies, the Komojis, and each one has a
Oh,
little face. And so I'll link to. There was an earlier post that a psychologist wrote for us talking about how to use the Komojis, but it's it doesn't. It's not that you have to buy something or create something.
no.
It's just having tools and having flexibility so that
Mhm.
like whatever state the child is in, like you'll let them kind of choose the medium how they express it. The
Right.
important thing is to have the communication.
Yes, yes. And as a teacher and a mom, I feel how we feel when our child is throwing tantrums. And that at that moment, we need to first think about how we feel and calm ourselves. And then we need to approach to the situation to help the child. Because if I need help, I will help myself first and then I'll help my child.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I'm not able to switch back and forth between slides, but there's additional information. So
Yes.
this page has a link, and then there's like additional information. So and like I thought this part at the end was very helpful because it talks about, like you said, like
How you can
maybe give
improve.
your child, yeah, give your child a little more time, do things like breathing,
Mhm.
and then this is not really a work activity. It's more, just helping them identify what their emotional
Right.
state is.
Right. It is important that that breathing time is giving time to yourself and to your child, so that you stabilize that situation. You're transitioning from one situation to the next one when you can help your child better. So I think that breathing technique, uh, itself is very helpful because there are times when we do not have words to share, but we can take a few deep breaths and make us feel more comfortable, and then we can talk about it. So I have seen with my own kids, because once they get sad or they're upset about something, they do not want to talk about it. So we practice breathing, and then I tell them that, okay, now look at my eyes so that I understand how they're feeling. And then I tell them, okay, now tell me how you feel. Or you can use your words and write it down. Depending on the child's age group, we can ask them.
Yeah, that's so important. And it takes time. Well, like as kids are learning it, like the adults have to model it and they have to explain it. But
Yes.
what you hope is that over time, the kids can use those techniques on themselves,
Right.
like that they can recognize uh, when they're upset, and then know what to do about it, with whether it's breathing or finding their words or
Uh-huh.
writing it down. That and it's a lifetime skill, being
Yes.
able to
To
identify
express.
emotions. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Verbalizing is a big thing, because when we verbalize something, we can think better why are we upset, or why are we sad about it, because sometimes that anxiety, it stops us from understanding how the situation is. So when I'm trying to verbalize to my teacher, or I'm trying to verbalize to an adult, I think about how I'm feeling and what is causing it. That's kind of my goal of this post, that find out the cause of that. If you know the cause, or your parent or your teacher knows the cause, then I think they can help you better, and you can also understand the cause and you can find the solution. So that was the
yeah,
goal
yeah.
of this post.
Like, going to someone to ask for help, but they need to know where the problem comes from. And then
Right.
what I found is that over time, the better I get at explaining the problem, sometimes I come up with the answer myself just while I'm in the process of explaining it.
In my experience, I have seen But parents will be coming and telling me that this is what worked for my child the best. And I know that that is important, knowing what works for your child. That is very very important, because I know that when my daughter gets mad, how she reacts. And definitely she's not going to react the same way in school. But if I can help the teacher by telling, okay, this is the thing, this is the tool that will work for my child, that helps, right? So parents can practice at home, especially with our younger learners, because they're going to school for first time. Some of them are probably they are not exposed to school or pre-k situations. I had kids, those who came to school for the first time out of their house and first time to the school. So I feel that those techniques practicing at home, they are very helpful. They help you to understand your child, and then of course the teacher will be using those same techniques at school.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed about School of Science and Technology is the communication between teacher and parent, and things like home
Yeah.
visits, and but like the teachers are receptive to hearing from parents. This is what works for my kid. And the teachers will share with parents, like, this is what we're noticing on about the student. And I think that kind of communication is wonderful, and I think it's a sign of what helps SST be such a successful school.
It is very important, and our school do work with parents, because it's not one sided. We cannot teach the child from our side. It is a relationship between the parent and the teacher and the child, so we all work together.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that may be unusual about this fall compared to other years is that there may be more students than typical who did not experience pre-K, or maybe
Mhm.
even didn't even
Yes.
experience kindergarten, and they may be coming for kindergarten or first grade to
Right.
be in school for the first time.
Yes.
So it's going to be maybe even bigger kids who are still learning these kind of social emotional techniques about how to manage their
You're
own
right.
emotions and how to work with other kids.
Yes, you're right, because I had my half of my class were on site and the other half was online. So I can say that 15 of them, they were online for the whole time, and they did really well. If you see their results, it's telling you that parents have worked with them. But being in a classroom is a different thing, with five other kids, adjusting to that situation. But I feel that kids have been so good this year. They have adapted to situation like we adult will be doing. I'm so happy to see that in them. They are so mature. They're coming and telling me that, oh, my friend is new in class, so I have to show how to behave. I will do it for him. And that makes me feel that, okay, I could teach something that they are showing to another child.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's children rising to the occasion of recognizing that
Yes.
kind of what we've all been through together, and that what's going to get us through this is how
Hmm.
we treat each other and caring for each other.
Right, right. That's a
Yeah,
big proud moment for me to see that one child is feeling for another child, understanding his or her situation.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's details like that are what has made, I guess, in the School of Science and Technology, has several campuses in San Antonio that have earned the National School of Character designation.
Mhm.
And I think that you cultivate these opportunities for students to show good character in how they treat each other in the classroom.
Right. I would like to add, our school have character education class every Friday, and we practice these things. Our school character traits and understanding other child, all those things. We start with a breathing technique, and once we are done with that, we practice how. For example, this week we practiced citizenship. How can I be a better student next year, because the last class was the last one. So I told them that in our last class we're going to work on how I can be a better student next year. what am I going to do next year? Why don't we draw and write about it? So those things, something they will think about, that okay, I'm going to do it next year. So I feel that those things are important for all the children.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Do you have more thoughts to share about this? Sort of mood weather. Identifying your feelings. Because I
I
want to
think
show.
we have. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, well, I'm going to give you a chance to comment on this topic, and then I'll get ready for the next slide, which is about the writing and journaling activity.
Yes, I was saying that yes, practicing is the main thing. Whenever it happens, instead of reacting to a situation, if we practice talking about it, that will be very helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so there's another activity in the blog post, and so I'm going to tab over to this, and I think so. So part of this is, so writing has, there's sort of two sides to it. There's the, holding the pencil or
Right.
pen, and then but then there's also like finding the words and figure out what to express. So yeah, so tell me about this activity.
So writing, I wanted to write about writing because this school year has been more towards using the technologies, computer, iPad. So I feel we did a lot of writing, but I think we should practice writing as a tool in our day-to-day life, especially when it's summertime, because as a mom and a teacher, I feel that writing should not be only an activity. It is something that develops our fine motor skills, and it is something that helps to build that connection, that what we are thinking, we can put it in paper. So that is why I wanted to write a little bit more, that how you can incorporate in your day-to-day life. What I do is, in our family, when we go for an evening walk or if we go for a drive, once we come back, I tell my child that what was the special thing that you see today, or what was the fun part of your day. Most of the time they come with that answer, oh, nothing was fun today, I didn't see anything. But then I tell them that think about this, anything in specific. And especially with the older children, I think they can be using this particular activity independently, because they are writers, they have a lot of imaginations, and they will tell you so many stories. So that is kind of practice, and they will not even know that they're practicing something.
That's right. Like I like so in the sorry, I can't really like I said, I'm not really switching between slides,
Yes,
but I
I
like
can
how
hear
you
you.
show making a storybook, and it uses construction paper, but it's folded like a
Right.
book. I think that's very appealing for young kids to feel like I am making a book.
Oh, yes. Yes, I have seen that my kids in my classroom, when they had free time, they would take the white sheets and they will make books. And that gave me that idea. It can be an activity for the kids at home. And I saw during summertime when my friends or my daughter's friends, they're visiting, they make books, and they will make different books and they will tell the story to the younger kids. So my daughter's one of the favorite author is Mo Willems, and she wrote a book with another friend, with those characters, Mo Willem characters, the piggy and Gerald.
Oh, the elephant.
They
Yeah.
both started telling story to the younger friends. So I think those are very good activities to practice with the kids at home.
Yeah. And if they're making something, if they have a goal, then they're not seeing the writing as work. They see it as
Yes.
a tool to express themselves. So they can make the book, they can tell the story. They can do writing on one side, they can do a picture on the other,
Oh, yes.
and make their own book.
Yes. And with that, I think journaling is a good activity, for habit formation, uh, because I think nowadays we are doing so much of activities with computer. Our fine motor skills are not practiced that much. So if it's not an activity, if it's only about how my day was or what did I do special today, then I think we can attract kids more towards doing it than just saying that okay, you have to write now. because
Yeah,
then
have
they
a
don't like it.
prompt.
Yes.
Yeah, and having and making a habit of it, right? Of having doing things that are routines.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and I
Yes.
like how you talked about having like an evening walk, or because then that adds physical activity to it.
Yes. So what do we we go for a walk, and my daughters, they will pick up a leaf sometimes, or sometimes it's the acorn that was on the ground, and you can see a beautiful car, you can see a little squirrel, so many things. So, and they have that imagination skills that they can use and make a beautiful story with that. And I have seen children doing it. In my class at home, I see them making beautiful stories out of, one small leaf, or maybe a teddy bear that was there sitting on our bed. They will pick it up and they will make a whole story with that.
That's such an important thing about creativity. I think that anyone who's a creator, you need to learn to work with what's in your surroundings and not be waiting for some miracle to happen. That there's amazing things all around us. We just need to learn to observe them, and and like you said, reflecting on what was interesting today, or like I've gotten the habit of it's very short. It's only like 2 or 3 lines, but I'll write every day like what I'm grateful for, and it helps me
Yeah.
reframe how I look at life. It's had a big impact on me.
I love that because I always tell my kids, we pray before eating and all. And I tell them that, think about one thing that you can say that, yes, I'm thankful for this, or I'm grateful for this. So that's kind of not an activity, that is a life skill that they should learn, that we should be thankful for anything that we are getting.
Yeah,
I like that
yeah,
you added to it, and that's something I'm going to incorporate in our writing activities. That what are you thankful for? Yes, I love it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think what you know, and I hadn't thought about it, but like I keep I do so much of my work digitally, but the gratitude journal is something I do keep in on paper, and I think there's something about it puts it in my memory in a different way. The act of writing it in pen on paper.
Yes, and I feel we are losing it. Like we used to write so much as a kid, but now our kids are using computers more. This year, all most of our activities have been on computer, but for little kids like kindergartners, first graders, they need to write. Second graders, they do need to write every day.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So this is kind of
did you?
like preparation for next school year, you can say.
Yeah, well, like I don't want my kids to like show up for school in August and then pick up the pencil and be like, "Wait, what do I do with this?"
I know, yes,
Or have their
yes,
fingers feel too tired at the end of the day because they were out of practice from handwriting.
right, right. Yes, and that is why I said that let's make it fun because it's summertime, and you do not neither parents not the kids, they want to write because they have to write. But if it's fun, if it's some kind of observation for pre-writing, or those who are little kids, I think drawing pictures can be very good activity because they're holding pencil. Even if they can make a circle, a straight line, those are helping towards them writing those letters next year.
Mhm.
Even Play-Doh activities, sometimes we do it just as fun, but they can be those pre-writing activities. They can make letters. Even sometimes in my class, I used to do this when we had those stations open. They would come and make words using the clay or Play-Doh. They would make letters and they put them together and make a word. Those fun activities
Yeah,
can be done at home.
yeah, yeah. It's great because it feels like play, but they're learning about letters
Yes,
along the way, and they're keeping their hands busy.
yes. Yes, my
Yeah,
daughters, they like it because they do not find it as any activity or work. So they love doing those kind of fun stuff.
yeah, yeah. Well, do you have any other thoughts about the writing activity? And again, I'm going to show folks like there's links in the blog post to get more detailed recommendations from Ms. Gupta about the writing activity.
Thank you. Yes, no, I think that that's it. All everything needs practice, and everything needs that schedule. So, like we use that evening walk, or you might have your own schedule for writing, just to follow that, because it is important for the kids to know what is coming next. And if they know, they will probably bring their own writing notebook or journal, and they start doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna let's see. The last slide is about your biography, but so I'm gonna try to adjust the screen. But like I said, I'm having a little computer issue. But I was wondering if you could, while I'm getting the screen fixed, can you talk about sort of what are your hopes for the coming school year? Because hopefully it will be more in-person interaction for kids. And
Yes.
you've shared some really positive things, like about you know students who've been on campus, welcoming their classmates who are new, and modeling behavior for them and helping them when they get stuck. Are there bright spots that you see?
Yes, one quick thing I'll share about last school year. So I used to have my class, the Zoom sessions on for a few minutes in the beginning, and they would say hi to each other. And since our school is in a neighborhood, and the kids probably met them in the playground, and they will say hi to the other kids because they know that, oh, I met that little friend in playground the other day. So I feel that that social interaction will be all in person. That is something I'm looking forward to. When they come to classroom and they see that friend whom they saw all year long, maybe on Zoom or maybe in the neighborhood, and that friend is in the classroom, that is something I think I'm looking forward to. That feeling of meeting my friend is going to be very special for all of them.
Yeah, yeah, I think that will.
I think teachers are
It's
looking
something
forward to it because we love meeting those little kids in person.
something that before the pandemic we took it for granted, and maybe we won't take it for granted so much anymore. Just be able to share space and have that quick interaction, and be able to read body language, and just know, yeah, feel like we're part of a classroom community.
Right. Yes. That feeling of being in a community is very important. Knowing that there is my teacher, there are my friends, and they are here for me. And that's something important for this age group, especially when their social emotional development is very important. I think if they're back to school, they will be more happy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay,
And
so I want to be sure that. Oh,
I'm sorry. I wanted to mention that I'm so impressed to see, Inga, this year kids use their mask and everything. Like they will sanitize their hands, and whatever I told them from the very first day, they kept maintaining that once we enter the classroom, we're going to use the hand sanitizer, mask on, and they have that skill that once you tell them, and few times they practice, they're taking it very seriously in every classroom.
that's like, yeah, when the pandemic first started, like I think people were worried, like, how will young children adapt to this? And I think that they have risen to the occasion. They've exceeded our expectations for being able to follow good habits, and be caring towards each other to keep each other safe.
Yes, yes. They
Yeah.
children made me so proud this year. They did a great job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm also so proud of the stories I've heard from teachers, from you and your colleagues who worked so hard, to straddle distance learning and on-campus learning, and to keep adapting as things kept changing. And I hope that this coming year is more consistent and more peaceful.
Yes, yeah. I would like to see more kids coming to school, and it feels great when you see them because, of course, we are here to teach, but that personal connection that we have with the kids. I'm looking for those next year again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, before we close out, I want to be sure and give a shout out to School of Science and Technology, and because that's so you're at the Northwest campus, right, which is the
Yes.
the Narwhal Nation, but they have
Yes.
many
Narwhal
campuses
Nation.
across San Antonio as well as Houston and Corpus Christi. And I'm going to put the website on the screen, so sstschools.org. is where families can find information about where the campuses are located. They can find a link to the application. So do you want to share about School Scientific Technology?
Yes, little quick, information. We had a change in our principal, Mr. De Leon. He has joined our central office, and we have Miss Romero and Mr. Seves. They have joined us, and they are doing great jobs. And you can see the change in our school. We have a new basketball court, and a lot of things are going on. So you should visit our website for new information that are there. And I'm a very proud teacher. They're like my family. I love working in our school.
I know, and you have your polo shirt on, and it
Oh
has your
yes,
name
yeah.
on it. And I know there's so much pride. I remember pre-pandemic visiting SSC Northwest. It was just the portables, but it already had a beautiful playground, and now there's a makerspace, and I'm looking
Yes,
forward
it's
to
growing.
in the coming school year be able to visit more campuses.
Please visit us. You will love our campus because it looks so different now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, do you have any closing thoughts about this past school year and what you hope families can do this summer? Like, definitely have fun, but
Yes.
they can do some of these learning activities as well.
Yeah, I mean that reminds me. I have a slide for our morning work every day, and so I used it for the whole time. I told them that hey, we have 5 days left, we have 4 days left, but what are you going to do during the break? They will come and say, oh, we are going to read, relax, and write. I said yes. Remember those 3 hours, and that's something I want to tell the little kids and their parents that keep practicing because it's going to be so helpful. We all like to be comfortable when we are in school. So if you are practicing now, you will see the difference when you are going back to school. It's not a work, it's just practicing what you have learned. So
Yeah,
that
keep the
that's
brain sharp.
that's fun. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah. But still, lots of time to get outside and play, go to the pool, go
Mhm.
to the park.
That's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
important.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for the guest post, and thank you so much for joining me on Charter Moms Chats. And I really think this is going to help a lot of families this summer.
It's my pleasure if I could help someone and if someone is reading and using it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.